Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are doing an unboxing of two new print reissues that have just come out. We have Batman and Graffiti Bridge. These are both soundtrack albums. Batman's from 1989 and Graffiti Bridge is from 1990. I do have both of these on vinyl, but they're kind of like quite old secondhand editions, and these came out and I wanted like pristine condition ones in my collection, so I picked these up and we are going to take a look. I can't imagine that there's a lot of differences between these and the originals, but we'll take a look. So we'll start with Batman 1 from 1989, obviously the soundtrack from the very good Tim Burton Batman film. I've already opened the side just to make it easier to like show off in this video. I've not actually opened it yet. So let's take off the shrink wrap here. And that is it, without all the glare on it from the plastic. So this album is decent enough. It's not exactly one of my favourite Prince albums, but I do enjoy it. At least most of the tracks on here I quite enjoy. You've got all the lyrics there, and production info and pictures from the film. And we have the record itself in an anti-static sleeve, which is always good. And there we go, the label with the Batman logo on it. I don't remember the original having the Batman logo on it like that. We'll have to have a look at that. I do actually have my original here as well to compare, so pop those back in and we'll take a look at that to see if there are any differences. One weird thing from the Love Sexy reissue was that the picture itself on the cover was like ever so slightly zoomed in, which was a bit odd. I'm not entirely sure why that happened. But here is my original one. So let's see if that is actually zoomed in from this. I think it is kind of. You can see that the logo doesn't. Yeah, the logo comes a little bit further down on the reissue. It's odd that they do that. It's kind of odd. But if we actually take out the sleeve is identical. That's the same. And yeah, the label is actually different. It doesn't actually have the Batman logo on. It's just got the Warner Brothers logo there. But I do prefer the new one there, which actually has the Batman logo and font. So now we are going to take a look at Graffiti Bridge. This is a double album, and it doesn't just contain the Prince tracks from the album, it also contains all of the other tracks from the album by the time, Mavis Staples, etc., George Clinton, and the film I would not recommend. It's awful. It's really, really bad. It kind of feels like it kind of feels like music videos that are kind of like tied together with a very, very terrible plot. Something about an angel. It's confusing. It's meant to be like a sequel to Purple Rain. Purple Rain's really, really good. Graffiti Bridge is not good. Unless you are like a die-hard Prince fan, I would not recommend watching Graffiti Bridge. Again, this isn't exactly one of my favourite albums either. There's a few good tracks on this, but it's not exactly my favourite era of Prince. But you know, I wanted like a pristine copy of this, so I have it now. Wasn't cheap as well for an album that I don't particularly like, but that's how it goes when you're a completionist. So we have the sleeves. They are, as far as I can tell, identical to the originals. And we have the records themselves in the anti-static sleeves again. And it's got the old Paisley Park Records logo on that. Size 1, 2, 3 and 4. So like I said, this does contain all of the music from the film. Well, all of the songs from the film rather. It doesn't contain like the entire like instrumental soundtrack, but Prince had a hand in writing, co-writing, or at least producing like every single track on this album, so it is still essentially a Prince album, even though you've got tracks by Light the Time and Mavis Staples and a whole bunch of other people, Tevin Campbell. Yeah, like I said, there are still a few good tracks on this, but there's some like not as great tracks. Like I think for me, in terms of like the time tracks, these are the weakest time songs that they've done. Like everything on their own albums have been better than like what's on this, personally. Yeah, I think the Prince tracks themselves actually, they hold up like much better than the other stuff. I think you could have made a pretty tight single disc album just having like the Prince stuff on here, but it is still good that they've got like all of the like songs from the film on there. You know, I'm not going to complain about like a more complete package for like a soundtrack album, but I did want to compare this to the original because I kind of noticed that this absolutely isn't going to show on camera, but the text is ever so slightly soft. Like it's not like pin sharp, which makes me think that it has kind of like been blown up a little bit from like not the original source, but I have the original here. This is the original release from 1990, and straight away I can see that the new one again is zoomed in. Definitely, this is a lot sharper, like noticeably. Again, the camera probably isn't going to pick up the difference on that, but there is absolutely a difference with one being a lot sharper than the other, and you can see the zooming as well. Yeah, kind of like look at like the placement of his nostrils. Like you can clearly see that that is absolutely zoomed in. Not so much on the top of the picture. The bottom of the picture, we have a look at the bottom. Yeah, again, ever so slight zooming in, you can see the earring is closer to the bottom. on the reissue. I don't quite know why that is. Seems pretty odd. It's a lower quality picture. The colours don't quite pop as much. Seems weird because surely they would have access to like the original art files, but maybe not. Don't know. Yeah, that is quite odd, to be honest. But hopefully the records themselves should sound like perfectly fine, and you know, it's nice to have like a new pristine version in my collection. I hope they continue with the vinyl reissues. Well, they've got Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe Edition, which is coming out end of October, so we're going to be getting that. And then the only ones that really need reissuing on vinyl are the earlier 90s stuff, Symbol album, Black album. We got Come, we got the Gold Experience. Yeah, pretty much just those two, I think. Symbol album and Black album we could do with vinyl reissues of. Really difficult to get a vinyl copy of the Black album. It is very scarce, and I personally don't have a copy of it. I've got it on CD, but yeah, I would actually like to have it on vinyl as well. But yeah, that would cover like pretty much the whole of the Warner's era if we got those two. Plus, we have had reissues of the hits 1 and 2, but we've not had a reissue of the B-sides disc because it originally came out as hits 1 and 2 separately, and then we had a bigger package of hits 1 and 2 and the B-sides, which only came like in that package. You could only get the B-sides in that one package, and it wasn't released on vinyl at the time, so it would be nice to actually see like a reissue of that. So if we have that and the Symbol album and the Black album, that would be all of the reissues done from the Warner Brothers, because we got reissues of everything from For You to Sign of the Times in, I believe it was 2009. May have been a little bit early, but I think it may have been around there. And then they kind of like stopped before they got to Love Sexy, and then they actually did release Love Sexy this year, and they released Come this year, which I've done unboxing videos of as well. So with Diamonds and Pearls coming, we are just missing those couple of albums for the Warner Brothers era. They've not all been remastered, but having like a reissue is kind of like important, because if you're kind of like a new fan of Prince, you're looking to get everything, and it's really difficult to get some of this stuff because it's just not available anywhere. A few of them are like probably on streaming, sure, but like if you want like physical copies of stuff, you're not going to find a lot of this stuff, which is unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully they do continue with these reissues, and we do get actual legit ways to pick these up on physical formats. So I've ranted on for long enough. Well, it wasn't really a rant, but just a discussion more of. But yeah, that is Graffiti Bridge and Batman reissues. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.